Good afternoon. My name is Ababakar Tiam, and today I will be presenting persuasive speech on pollution. Today I will be discussing with you three things that I'm going to be going over. Those three things are significance and harm of pollution. The second is definition of pollution, and the third is seriousness and widespread of the situation. Without any further ado, let's get started. First, I will go over the significance and harm. Humans burn a lot of fossil fuel on a daily basis with everyday objects such as cars, trains, and planes, and etc. Basically, anything that has to do with burning fossil fuels, which can hurt our environment. Next, I will transfer over to the definition. This definition we pulled out of the Webster Dictionary, and it states that pollution can mean the action of polluting, especially by environmental contamination with man made waste. The first main point of that is pollution damages our natural resources and crops, waters, and animals. These that humans consume. Forests also burn down, which leaves animals without a home. The second point to the definition is that people dumping trash on the streets and not recycling can cause plastic and waste to be swept to the ocean by rain. Factories dumping chemical waste in lakes cause the waters to evaporate and later rain down chemicals, which can ruin crops when growing vegetables for humans to consume or for animals to consume. The third main point to the definition is that according to the National Wildlife Federation, even if humans stop using fossil fuels, the carbon dioxide already in the atmosphere will continue to contribute to climate change for hundreds of years into the future, which can affect our future generations and the future environment, which can leave our future generations to not have a clean and healthy environment. Now that I've talked about the definition, I will transfer over to the seriousness and widespread of the situation. If people don't start taking action now, our future generations can suffer from health issues and global starvation because of all the chemicals that are killing the crops and actions that we are taking right now. Actions that we take right now can affect our future generations. Now to move on to the first main point of the seriousness and widespread. Many researchers claim that if no actions are taken by 2050, the pollutants in the air will become so bad that the average temperature of our Earth will rise to 1.5 degrees Celsius. Now, 1.5 degrees Celsius may not sound like a lot, but but imagine the possible effects a constant heat difference can have on locations such as the Arctic or the poles, where a steady temperature is required for normal life to thrive. It will become extremely difficult for wildlife such as polar bears or penguins to, to name a few, to adapt and survive in the new harsh environment. To move on to the second main point for the seriousness and widespread, in a quote by Dr. Maria Neira, who is the Director of Public Health, Environmental, and Social Determinants of Health, about the effects and seriousness of climate changes, she states, the true cost of climate change is felt in our hospitals and in our lungs. The health and burden of polluting energy sources is now so high that moving to cleaner and now sustainable choices for energy supply, transports, and food systems effectively pays for itself. In other words, Dr. Nera is making out a point that the way the world runs its business and health facilities around the world are becoming so toxic to the environment as well as the economy, and that if everyone would transfer to a safer, cleaner source of energy, in time, energy supply and the ability to transport clean, reusable sources would take care of itself. In our today's society, things like businesses and local businesses and transportation and everyday things that we need to produce and to give to consumers is affecting our environment. The third and last point of the seriousness and widespread is based on an article by Alina Bradford. The article is named Live Science Contributor. And in this article, we pulled out a quote which states that the toxic pollution affects more than 200 million people worldwide. The article later follows up the statement with a powerful choice of words, which states, in some of the world's worst polluted places, babies are born with birth defects. Children have lost from 30 to 40 IQ points, and life expectancy became lower to as low as 45 years because of cancers and other